Hello everyone and welcome to the latest Tropical Atlantic Marine Weather Briefing. My name is Sandy Delgado, a forecaster here at the National Hurricane Center. And what we're going to be talking about over the next few minutes is that we have a strong tropical wave over the Eastern Atlantic that has a high chance of development over the next few days as it moves westward into the Central Atlantic. However, fortunately, we don't have any warnings or gales in the Gulf of America, Caribbean Sea, and the Southwest North Atlantic. And taking a look at the tropical weather outlook, aside from the strong tropical wave over the Eastern Atlantic that I mentioned that has a high chance of development over the next few days as it moves westward and then west-northwestward over the Central Atlantic, we also have another tropical wave that we're watching, a 96L. This system is over the Central Atlantic. It has a low chance of development over the next few days and it's going to move northward. And now taking a look at the forecast, we have a ridge by Monday morning over the Central Atlantic. That's going to force some fresh to strong force winds, locally strong force winds over the Central Atlantic, and that's going to sustain seas up to 10 feet in those waters. Over the Caribbean Sea, we have fresh to locally strong force winds, especially at night off Colombia. That's going to sustain seas at night, increasing up to 8 feet. By Tuesday, we still have this ridge over the Central Atlantic, and we have fresh to locally strong force winds in the Caribbean, sustaining seas up to 8 feet in those waters. We also have that strong tropical wave already entering our map, about 35 west. There's going to be some strong force winds on the north side of this system, potentially higher depending on how the system develops. So please keep an eye on the latest information from the National Hurricane Center. So whether the system develops or not, we're still going to have some rough seas in the Central Atlantic over the next few days. By Wednesday, we already have this, we continue to watch this system, a strong tropical wave over the Central Atlantic, a potential tropical cyclone at that point, and seas to at least 10 feet in those waters, depending on the intensity of this system. We also have a similar pattern in the Caribbean with fresh to strong force winds in that area and seas up to 10 feet in those waters. By Thursday, as you can see, the strong tropical wave is going to be over the Central Atlantic. At least strong to near gale force winds are going to be associated with this system, potentially higher depending on how the system develops. Seas are going to be at least 10 feet associated with this feature, especially north of the center. In the Caribbean, as the pressure gradient decreases, winds are going to be decreasing and also the seas in those waters. By Friday, the system is going to be located somewhere between the islands and potentially southeast of Bermuda. However, this is very far in advance. Please keep an eye, as I mentioned, on the latest information from the National Hurricane Center to see how the system develops. Regardless of development, seas are going to be building up to 12 feet north of this system as the pressure gradient increases. So in summary, we have a strong tropical wave in the Eastern Atlantic that has a high chance of tropical development over the next 7 days. Regardless of development, however, rough seas will propagate westward into the Central Atlantic through the week. Okay. Also, fresh to locally strong easterly trade winds and locally rough seas are expected in the South Central Caribbean Sea through Wednesday night. Those stronger winds and higher seas are going to be occurring mostly at night and into the morning, especially off Colombia, due to the pressure gradient being the strongest in that area. Thank you so much for your time. The next briefing is going to be on Thursday, August 14, around 5 p.m. And you can always get the latest graphics and information at hurricanes.gov/marine. Thank you and have a great day.